10 years ago. He was a random gooner that worked at a furniture assembly plant. And it's the same that it's the exact same principle behind like Christopher Rufo being like, I can't believe that you're lying and saying that, like, you know, my email was in the Ashley Madison leaks that were in 2019. Who the knew who Christopher Rufo was in 2019?
All business people. We're here for all those parents out there that are losing their children to fentanyl. We're here for all those people out there that are...
Bro, every time I see him now, I can't unsee the titty shirt that he purchased in bulk, that he left a phenomenal Amazon review over. And I'm always thinking to myself, like, I really can't tell. I really can't tell if it's working or if it's not working. He's got the gyno shirt, right? And I don't know if the gyno shirt is like working or if the gyno shirt is not working. It's boosting and separating his confidence. As a fellow fat man, that man is large and is working for him. I feel like the gyno shirt also makes his like it weirdly pushes his titties all the way up into his arms, kind of.
Struggling to keep
so when he moves his arms out, it looks crazy.
We're here for the people we're here for the people who are struggling to get...
Like, look, do you see that? Like, his nipple moved to outside of where his nipple is supposed to be. I don't think he's got the gyno shirt on, Chad.
Their children a decent education. We're not here to talk about 15 or 20-year-old salacious false lies. They don't want to talk about what's going on right now. They want to talk about what...
That man right there is like, listen, Mark, when you're done, could you happen to send me one of them codes that I could use to buy that gynecomastia shirt you were talking about on Amazon? I saw that on the CNN article. Seems quite like seems like it's working quite nice for you. I'd like to pack my in as well, sir. Okay.
Possibly happened 15 years ago.
The staff resignations follow a CNN investigation that unearthed graphic and inflammatory comments Robinson made several years ago on a website. He denies making those posts. And CNN's Diane Gallagher joins me from Wilkesboro, North Carolina. Diane, what else is Robinson saying this morning?
You know, Jim, this is the first appearance by Robinson since the more than half a dozen senior campaign staff resigned this weekend. And about several of the 45 to 50 supporters who showed up here today in Wilkesboro said that's precisely what made them come. They wanted to show support for Robinson in what they describe as a very difficult time for him. Robinson didn't directly address those allegations beyond calling them salacious lies from the past that may or may not have happened when he spoke to supporters. But he did address that and the campaign departures when he spoke with press as soon as he finished the event. Take a listen.
We have full confidence that we can go on. We're getting resumes from all over. We're getting offers from all over. People are jumping.
I'm new to politics. Is this good? when half of your staff resigns after they find out that you're a serial gooner with goon debt? Like that's as someone who has studied the way of goon, okay, the art of gooning, I have never actually found a person that has been in goon debt, okay? Especially because like materials are so readily available online at this point for free that like it truly blows my mind when you hear about a guy who like went into debt for his art. Is Robinson or Kamala a stronger small business candidate? Duh. No, Robinson. I've never heard of Kamala Harris going into debt to support a small business. Okay. I have, however, seen Mark Robinson, one, defend small businesses online by literally giving phenomenal reviews on Amazon to small businesses that sell replica RC helicopters and small businesses who also are selling gynecomastia shirts. I've also literally seen him put his money where his mouth is when his mouth is not fantasizing about eating out his sister-in-law after she peed on him. He literally went into debt. He went into debt trying to defend a small business that was going to go out of business as a direct consequence of the internet gooning into something that you can do on your computer for free. Like, think about it this way. If there were 10 million Mark Robinsons that cared enough about physical copies of works of art, Blockbuster would still be in business. Okay? He literally has single-handedly turned the tide of history for this one porn shop in Greensboro. Like, it literally would have gone the way of Blockbuster. It should have gone the way of Blockbuster under normal market conditions. And Mark Robinson straight up defended this institution from bankruptcy. I'm just going to say it, dude. He is a better small business defender than Kamala Harris. It pains me to say so, but...
in to help us. We've made a ton of friends in this thing since we've been in. A lot of talented people right now are reaching out to us, and we're right in the process right now of forming a team that we know can still lead us to victory. So we have full confidence in our ability to keep going.
But the timing of that, them walking away from you right now.
The timing doesn't matter. It's not the timing. It's how you react, and we are ready to react, and we're doing it right now. We're getting it done.
Robinson, you've talked about the reporting being salacious lies, not true. Have you taken steps then to prove it's not you?
We absolutely are. We absolutely are. We're in talks right now. Everything up to legal counsel to take CNN to task for what they have done to us. We are going after them.
No, they 100% will not do that because it's real, and discovery would only prove that it's real, and that would destroy what remains of his campaign and his political ambitions. Okay, so no, and here's how you know it's real, because it's his name, dude. It's his name. It's his same username he's used everywhere, publicly and privately. And the email associated with the account is his name and birth date. And the thing is, it's not like Mark Robinson was a known political entity, 10, 14 years ago, that someone would be like, I'm going to make a fake account to ruin this man's political career. 10 years ago, he was a random gooner that worked at a furniture assembly plant. And it's the same it's the exact same principle behind like Christopher Rufo being like, I can't believe that you're lying and saying that, like, my email was in the Ashley Madison leaks that were in 2019. Who the knew who Christopher Rufo was in 2019? People still don't know who Christopher Rufo is. You think someone was like looking at the people that are working at the Manhattan Institute to be like, let me sign up with their accounts to Ashley Madison, with their emails to Ashley Madison, in an effort to, destroy their beautiful political career if they might become a political operative later down the line. Like, what are you, stupid? Ain't nobody knew who you were, dumbass. That's the difference. It's like if someone signs up Donald Trump's email to Ashley Madison now, like, yeah, there is a defense for that. You're like, come on, dude. This man has cheated on his wife publicly. Why the fuck would he do that on Ashley Madison? It's very likely someone who has access to what his email is that signed him off. Like, it makes sense. He's a notable, prominent former president, right? Stories like that don't actually get a lot of play for that reason, because everybody understands, like, with a little bit of critical thinking, it's like, it's a little bit different. You were a random guy. You were a random guy, dog. Nobody is making Africa accounts with your name. He is not taking, by the way, he's not taking steps to track down the mysterious guy who made these posts. He rejected tech help to track it down. Yeah.
Okay, we are going to go after them for what they've done. But we have 5 weeks left in this race, folks, and make no mistake about it. We are not going to let CNN throw us off of our mission. Our mission is to win this race. And
Wait. After CNN reported that Mark Robinson posted and lose comments on a website, Robinson rejected offers from supporters to track down the origin of the post. Sources tell WRAL. Oh, man, it's shocking to me. It's shocking to me. Yeah, not only that, but his Mini Soldier YouTube account literally changed the I Am the Majority USA. Exactly. We look through all of this.
Frankly, I am dismayed about the fact, as I said before, think about how many people out there right now, right in the place where we are right now, who are hooked on fentanyl, who are hooked on opioids, and how many
who are hooked on gooning debt. Folks, nobody's talking about that. Kamala Harris is afraid to talk about that.
He will die tonight because of it. Think about what's going on our border. Think about what's going on the world stage.
Yeah, he's like, don't think about that. Think about what's going on at the border instead.
And this is what you choose to focus on. You've got these news cameras, news reporters, pens, pencils, your microphones. This is what you're focused on. You're not focused on the things that we talked about standing up there about our economy. You're not focused on those things. I am. I'm going to remain focused on those things. And you better understand, I am coming after CNN full throttle. But we have got to put the people first. And in order to put the people first, in order to
think about my sister-in-law and how her is farting. I mean, I don't think about that. That's somebody else. There was another Mark Robinson who thought about that on the Nude Africa forums.
Put the people first. We've got to concentrate on this campaign. And that is exactly what we're going to do. That's exactly what we're going to do. Thank you. No more questions. No more questions. Hold on just a second. No more questions because you're from Greensboro. And in Greensboro.
Now, Robinson may be talking about the fact that we're focusing on that, but I can tell you there are plenty of Republicans in North Carolina who are as well concerned about what the K-file investigation, as well as a significant staff departure, means potentially for down-ballot Republican candidates here in North Carolina, Jim. And look, at the top of the ticket, former President Donald Trump was in North Carolina. He was in Wilmington on Saturday. He did not invite Lieutenant Governor Robinson to appear with him on stage. Robinson had a small public event at a speedway instead in a different part of the state. Didn't even mention Robinson by name at that. And this is someone who he at one point called Martin Luther King Jr. on steroids. This is a person who had a speaking position at the RNC earlier this summer. And so while he is trying to focus on the campaign, I will tell you that other Republicans here in the state of North Carolina are very concerned about that investigation as well as the campaign shakeup.
Yeah, I mean, Diane, did Mark Robinson explain why these staffers are leaving if the report from this network is not true?
No, they said that they have stepped away on their own accord. They wish them well. And the staffers themselves just saying this was something that happened on their own volition. So they have not gone into the specific details, but the timing, of course, coming just days after that K-file investigation was published.
Yeah. Gallagher, thank you very much. And CNN's Kristen Holmes is here with me now. As Diane mentioned, Robinson was not invited to Trump's rally over the weekend in North Carolina. Again, if there's something wrong with the reporting, you would think Donald Trump would have him up on stage, talk about him, didn't even mention him at this rally this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, but you also might think that if this reporting was true, that Donald Trump would be out there disavowing him and saying that he shouldn't be running for office. But again, Donald Trump has not said anything about it at all, remaining completely silent. And we have absolute faith in our reporting that these are Mark Robinson's words from this porn forum. Now, Donald Trump, I am told, is not likely to invite Mark Robinson to any future events. He is expected to be in North Carolina again later this week. We shouldn't see Mark Robinson with him if that holds, him not inviting him to any of these events. But in terms of disavowing him or disavowing what Donald Trump himself has said about Mark Robinson, we haven't seen any indication that that is happening. Now, look, when it comes to the ticket, asking him to get off the ticket, that's not possible.
Bro, Donald Trump is not a fake friend, okay? He will not disavow a supporter, okay? He has not disavowed straight up neo-Nazis. Do you understand? As long as people are pro-Donald Trump, he is pro them. Very rarely does he ever come out and says something that where he disavows someone, unless they've wronged him, okay? Unless they have wronged him. Then he's like, you're done. You're cut. It's over for you. Bro, yeah, he didn't even disavow Ghislaine Maxwell, dude. He literally was like, I wish her well. It's like, bro, what are you talking about? She was like, she's going to prison forever for participating in like sex trafficking of minors alongside like the most famous pedophile of all time. What the fuck do you mean you wish him well? I'm telling you, man, it's a very funny thing that he does where he just cannot, unless someone has wronged him, he's just not going to do it. Your reaction to that interview is one of my most rewatched YouTube videos where he says that about Ghislaine. Yeah, he didn't disavow the Proud Boys. He didn't disavow the Charlottesville Nazis.
We know that the ballots have already gone out, those military ballots as well as absentee ballots with Mark Robinson.
Bigger deal, this or Roy Moore? This. Like, bigger deal in terms of, like, electoral consequences, because North Carolina is not Alabama. And Roy Moore lost because of what he did. So, you know, I mean, he's definitely not going to win. Roy Moore was a worse person. Yes, Roy Moore was objectively a worse person. As far as we know, Mark Robinson is a gooner and a freak and is a, you know, black Nazi in his own words. But Roy Moore literally did diddle. He diddled so much, so frequently. He diddled so much with such phenomenal frequency that they banned him. They banned him from they banned him from the local mall, dude. But this is more consequential because, like, Roy Moore lost. He will definitely lose. But he's so toxic as far as, like, a brand. He is such a toxic brand at this point that, like, he might actually bring Trump down in the state of North Carolina, which is crazy.
Robinson's name at the top of the ticket. But there is huge amount of concern, as Diane said, among Republicans that this is going to hurt.
Do his voters care? Fuck yes, they do. What? Dude, he didn't. If it was just that he said he's a black Nazi, he would get more votes, okay? But it's not that he just said he's a black Nazi. He also was, like, you know, in Nude Africa forums writing, like, salacious shit. Republicans, once again, Republicans absolutely will look at that and go, oh, that's gross. That's too much. That's too much for me.
Donald Trump. If you look at the most recent polling the New York Times put out today, it is well within the margin of error. It has Donald Trump leading by about 2 points. Again, within the margin of error. Neither
people universally hate sexual predators. Wrong. You're absolutely... Dog, Donald Trump was president. What are you talking about? No, people don't universally hate sexual predators. The fuck? Look at, like, Dr. Disrespect's support right now. No, people absolutely do not hate sexual predators. And they do not hate sexual predators universally, especially.
Either side, Harris or Trump, is going to take that for granted. They want to win the state of North Carolina, which has gotten increasingly closer since Kamala Harris was boosted to the top of the ticket. This could hurt him. The question is, what would hurt him more? Him coming out and disavowing Mark Robinson or just leaving it alone? And it clearly, as at this point, the campaign thinks just not saying anything is the right move for the former president.
Yeah, and I mean, I have to think at this point, if Mark Robinson, you know, if you know, he's being unfairly maligned, the Trump campaign would be coming out and embracing him. I mean, they must think inside the Trump campaign that this is toxic too.
Well, and I will say, you know, talking to the senior advisors, they've thought that Mark Robinson was a problem for a long time. This is just the latest, and this is obviously the worst of what we've seen. Right. This is just the worst of what we have seen. But he has caused problem after problem for them. You know, at one point I went to an event in North Carolina, and he was speaking before Donald Trump was taking the stage, and the campaign made sure to tell us that he was not introducing the president. Even though he was speaking before him, they were going to have someone else or a voice of God introduce Donald Trump, which seemed like a very determined or very specific clarification that they were making there. They don't want them to be lumped together, but as you said, he has praised Robinson multiple times. So nothing on his part there about him coming out and saying, you know, I take back those comments.
And they sound pretty simpatico in terms of going after the press, and yet Mark Robinson not on stage with Donald Trump this weekend, not mentioned by Donald.
Damn, dude. First they came after... Bro, they're coming after Mark Robinson and Laura Loomer. What's next, dude? It's like you're coming after everyone that Donald Trump fucks, okay? You can't come after all of his side pussy, okay? I find this unconscionable. What will they do to this man? First, they did lawfare, okay? First, they stole the election from him. Then they did lawfare against him, where they just basically hit him on federal courts. They hit him on state courts. Okay. Now they don't even want him to have sex. They came after Laura Loomer, and now they're coming after Mark Robinson. Who can he fuck at this point? His wife? Get out of here. That's not going to happen. It's actually messed up what they're doing. They came after his golfing. Ryan Ruth. You're right.